David Christopher, an Australian singer, started his music career since very young. With a sweet and modest acoustic voice, David decided to expand his view and experience by touring to Germany in some years, and he first released his solo album titled Apartment. In February 2014, David came to Hanoi and brought along his latest songs that he composed in the album Apartment. This time, coming back to Hanoi, David will bring joy to audiences in Vietnam with the feelings and the love that he has for Hanoi. Hello, this is Chang Vietnam on VTC10 Net Việt. I'm Van here. So the guest speaker in our program today is an Australian songwriter, singer and a soloist, David Christopher. Hi David, thank you very much for joining us.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So David, this is the second time you're here in Vietnam, and the first time is in February 2014. So let me ask you, what has brought you here to Vietnam this time?
I kind of fell in love with the city. I've been to a lot of different places in the world, and it was just very immediate. It just suited my temperament. I just enjoyed the constant pulse of the city. I met some amazing people when I was here, and importantly, to do with my music career, I played to some audiences that were really receptive and really listened intently to what I was doing, and they really appreciated my music. So that was something that really struck home to me, and I was very appreciative of that.
This is the second time that you are here in Vietnam. So the second impression is different from the first impression that you came to Vietnam in February.
Well, the short answer is I've come back, and I plan to come back a lot more. It's just a very, I don't know, the people are very friendly. I know that's a cliche, but I feel kind of at home here. I've lived in other countries before, and I like to fill my days by walking around the old quarter and just people watching. It just feels normal to me here. If that's the best answer I can give you, it just feels great.
So what about the food here in Hanoi? Have you tasted the local food here?
The food's great. I've been eating 3 or 4 times a day. It's amazing food. Obviously I've tried the standards like pho, bún chả. Last night I had Bonam Wong, the beef cooked in, that was beautiful. I just walk places, and if it looks good I go eat it. I'll try anything, you know. I love to be adventurous with eating, and this is a great place to do that. There's some amazing flavors on offer, and there's just food on every corner, so you can just be on one block and eat for a year. I love that about this place.
So this is the second time that you're here in Hanoi. So let me ask you, what music are you going to perform for the Vietnamese people and the foreigners living here?
Well, I'll be performing some of the tracks from my previous album, Apartment. That was inspired mostly by just trips around the world in literally apartments that I'd lived in different cities, and whether I'd lived there or stayed there. And they were just kind of like, again, cinematic sort of snapshots of days in the life of a musician traveling the world, or observing other people living their life while I was in that world.
With the latest songs from the album Apartment, this Australian singer instilled his thoughts about the life surrounding him to audiences in Hanoi. This album is the culmination of his solo career. Audience in Hanoi enjoyed an adventure with David Christopher to an emotional valley, heart-training acoustic confessionals of the swell season, and Bruce Springsteen their own blend with the image-laden pop sensibilities of James Blunt and Neil Finn. It is the simple, rustic acoustic vocal that made the attraction of David when he sings live. The audience has a special impression on his performance, but the way that David lured audiences in Hanoi is not just his voice, but also the affection and his performing style.
Khi mình tham dự buổi performance này thì mình đã thấy là David rất là có gắn bó với Hà Nội và rất là có tình cảm đặc biệt với Hà Nội, vì thậm chí anh ấy còn muốn xin việc để làm ở đây. Thì thấy là anh ấy muốn gắn bó với thành phố này như thế nào. Và ngay cả trong buổi biểu diễn thì David cũng là thể hiện rất là nhiều tình cảm với thành phố này. Và thấy thế qua cách anh ấy rất là thích cuộc sống ở đây, rất là thích con người Hà Nội, như là ngay cả cái thái độ của mọi người khi xem show của anh ấy nữa. Thì mình thấy là rất là đặc biệt.
So you have written a lot about different cities around the world, and do you have any intention to write about your life here in Hanoi?
Yeah, definitely. Hard to put my finger on it, but I think I mentioned the city. You know, there's a lyric on the next album about a city that's been around for 1,000 years, and that was very unconscious, and that's clearly about Hanoi. I think I might have mentioned Westlake on one of the lyrics. Just I didn't mean for it, but they kind of just crept into my lyrics the way that other places sort of emerged in other songs in the past. Most of my songs tend to collect snapshots of people or places that I've been to or lived in. It just seems to be my style of writing. So naturally, with my love of Hanoi, it's slowly crept into a couple of songs on the next record. I remembered walking around, well, actually Hoan Kiem Lake. I remember walking around and just seeing obviously a lot of people get married there at all times of the week, and I was just very inspired by, I came up with a love story that was inspired by that, and about maybe people that can't speak the same language. I saw couples that were sort of, obviously some people were not from Vietnam, some people who were natives, and I don't know, all of these things coalesced in my mind and fused into something that's, I think it's a pretty song. Well, I plan to come back, so the more time I spend here, naturally the more it will become my environment, and therefore the more it will integrate into my work, because I can't help I'll just see something on the street that means nothing to anybody else, but I'll just see a whole story in that. Like I said, just people being married on the lake, and then I remembered someone walking past me speaking 2 languages, and that just, in my mind, that went, oh. So I know by being here, a lot more of that will seep into my work.
So this is the second time that you are performing here in Hanoi, and you also have the intention to write something about the life of the people living in the Western Lake of Vietnam and generally about Hanoi. So let me ask you, why you give such that favor to Hanoi?
I just felt welcomed here. I'm clearly not from here, but I walk down the street and people don't pay any attention to that. It's very easy to fit into, and I enjoy the frenetic pace. I mean, to be honest, I've only been around the old quarter, Hoan Kiem, Ba Dinh. I haven't been all over the city yet, but it just feels really normal to me to be around these people and to just walk these streets. Where I come from in Australia, it's quite laid back, and I sort of enjoy the life that just bursts on every street corner here. I just really like just sitting down, going to eat a bowl of pho, and just reading a book and just sitting there with a beer. I could watch people all day in this town. It just fascinates me. So that's kind of the love, if that makes sense to you.
So with 3 performances here in Hanoi, so finally Are you happy with those performances?
Yeah, definitely. This kind of venue, it's intimate, it's cozy, it's just very, everyone's just sitting right in front of you. It just suits my style of music perfectly. It's not so easy for me to find rooms like this in Australia, so that's another reason I enjoy playing here as well. To go back to that previous question, it's just, it's not, I've found it difficult in the past. My style of music is very sedate, very subdued. It's not in your face. And people in Australia don't appreciate that so much. They can only take so much of that. Whereas here, I mean, last time I played here in Tarioto, for example, I think I played 2 hours plus, and I had to stop the show. You know, people weren't sending me off. So it was really nice to have my music that I've written and constructed and created from my heart to be so well received.
So does it mean that the music scene here in Hanoi is favorable for you and other foreign singers to come here and to sing and to perform?
I think for people like myself, yeah. I mean, I know there's a lot of, there's Hanoi hard rock, there's Kama ATK, there's a lot of different styles of music here. There's electronica, there's hard rock, but I think what I've noticed so far, there's enough of a scene here just for a lot of different styles of artists to develop, or to fit in. I just feel more comfortable playing my music here than I do at home, as it seems to be.
So you have mentioned earlier about something about Hanoi, something about Vietnam in your next album. So let me ask you, when is your next album released?
Yeah, no, it comes out in November. It's finished. It's being mixed right now. So I've got a little short tour back in Australia when it comes out in November. It comes out around the 20th of November. So I'm just waiting for that to finish. It's out of my studio now. It's being mixed elsewhere. Again, this is a great thing. People here, there's such a melting pot of cultures and ideas, and I had sort of already thought about the possibility of my next third album having a lot of input from this place. As I spend more time here. The technical aspect of that is it's not a very quiet city, so it's hard to record with an open microphone in your apartment. But yeah, I can definitely see a lot more of this place coming through on the next album, and maybe some collaborations too. Like, I've gotten to know a few of the local musicians and artists, and I plan to meet more, and doing shows like this is a way of expanding that network, and I'd like to sort of have other people contribute and have input on my next work rather than just all be me. So I think this is a great place to have that sort of thing happen. So we'll see what happens.
And once again, thank you very much, David, for joining our program today and for your sharing. And we hope that in the future we'll have more chances to listen to your songs, to the music about Vietnam.
Thanks for having me.
And that's it we have for today's program. And for comment and feedback, don't hesitate to write to us at shangvietnam@netvietTV.net. And we hope that you enjoyed the program as we did for today. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.